Vaping is a problem here at Avon High School.
Since Thanksgiving, it's really caught our attention that this is a real issue here, and we need to figure out how to best address this moving forward.
We spoke with a student who was caught underage vaping at school to see how it started and what his parent thought when he was busted. We have altered their faces and voices to protect their identities.
My first learned about it was during summer, hanging out with my friends. I got a hold of it through friends that I know, and my money, I started working out, so that's how I got the money for it. I was taken to the Jewel, and then the teacher looked at me, and so I was screwed right there.
The school called me on December 14th and told me that my child had was observed vaping in class. I was shocked, I was embarrassed, I was disappointed, angry, still am. I was very, very shocked.
I was scared to go home.
One health professional tells us why so many kids say they vape.
13 to 18-year-old group, really just trying to look into things that are different to them, things that older people may be doing, curiosity, just wanting to know and be familiar with things that others are doing as they transition from that adolescent period into adulthood.
So what are the legal consequences?
The consequences, legally speaking, it's illegal for anyone under 18 years of age to possess a vaping liquid or anything capable of producing a vapor cloud that's inhaled into the lungs. There's also other consequences outside of legal ones. The health research is kind of in its infancy. There's not a big body of work as it pertains to the consequences of using those devices. A lot of people see it as a safe alternative, but the body of research isn't developed yet to really put any credibility to that. Well, each school sets a certain amount of rules outside of what the state of Indiana enforce. Cities can also enact similar laws that are more stringent, but a school has an absolute right to whatever happens on its property. So the school is a tobacco-free zone, which also includes vaping devices.
This cannot be on school property. You cannot do this while on school property or at school events.
While I was on the phone with the school when they called me, I asked to speak with my child on the phone and let them know how disappointed I was and that it was not appropriate. And then when my child got home, we talked about it, we set some ground rules. I informed my child that I expected that to never be done in my house, my car, or anything that I have anything to do with, that my name is on. It is not allowed. We talked about how stupid decisions affect you, and obviously it was grounded.
I had a one-day in school suspension so I could finish my finals, and then I had a school suspension on the first day back and then grounded at home.
Our interview with the parent turns emotional as we hear why news of the student vaping is so upsetting.
I lost my mom when I was his age. She was a smoker, and not fun to go through, I'm gonna tell you that right now. I'm a nurse, I see people die of cancer, I see them die of all kinds of diseases, and that's not fun either, so think before you act is my biggest thing.
Dr. McDonald warns about the health aspects of vaping.
Your body is built in with a resistant system to reject things that are not supposed to come into it. So what you're telling your body is when you're smoking or inhaling these electronic cigarettes in, you're forcing it to take in ingredients and chemicals that it's not designed to ingest. And that affects your whole infrastructure, your internal system, especially your lungs and your heart, and then your brain.
I know that there's chemicals with the flavoring. You don't know any outcome with that. You don't know what kind of chemicals you're giving in your lungs, in your system. There's a thing called benzoic acid that I understand helps with the vaporizing of it. But that comes in a crystal form. What are the studies going to show 20 years down the road? Is that going to crystallize in your lungs and shut off all your lungs and you can't breathe? The students don't know this, and they're kids, and I understand that. But I think we need to get that message out there that can happen. I mean, in the 1950s, smoking was cool. And in the 1970s, oh, look what this does to people.
I mean, no one can really stop you, but it's not the right choice to start doing it. I regret doing it now that I did it.
This is your only body. You only get one. And take care of it. Take responsibility.
Many people plan on getting their devices outside of stores. Sergeant Grismore warns students of the risk.
Buying something specific as vapes, again, you don't know who you're meeting, you don't know what they're up to, and again, you don't know what you're getting. So it's just dangerous kind of through and through.
There have been 28 suspensions and 12 Saturday schools due to vaping and tobacco incidents from July 26 to February 1st. Dr. McDonald warns students about how vaping and smoking can become a gateway drug.
Nicotine is a drug because the chemicals that are in the electronic cigarettes are drugs. Your body becomes dependent on that. Because it got that good feeling for it, it craves to have that good feeling again. But like any other substance you use, the more you use it, the greater your need is going to be. So you may start off doing it like once a week or once every other week, but because your body craves that sensation it got when you first used it, it then triggers you to want to use it more frequently. So you go from once a week to twice a week, 3 times a week to every day to multiple times a day, desiring that same original sensation you had. When you're not getting it from that substance, that's when you may move on to something greater. Marijuana, opioids, things like that. So it's because your body is telling you, I want what I originally felt when you first tried that particular substance.
A Juul holds the same amount of nicotine as a whole pack of cigarettes. Our principal, Mr. Shockley, pushes students to help.
I would hope that friends would encourage other friends not to do it, to help them get away from it. Cigarettes seem to be the problem years ago. Now vaping seems to be the issue. Neither one of them are good for your health. So I would hope as friends that you would discourage them from doing that and help them in any way possible.
So is it worth it? Vaping on school property getting suspended, risking $200 in fines and court fees, and also risking an addiction?
It's not worth it at all.
The decision is up to you. For AHS News, I'm Jade Ramos.